all. It's Industry Night with me, your girl, Nycci Nellis. And yes, today I am coming you from my home. And no, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is not like a screen or anything. I am indeed surrounded by plants in my office because it just makes me feel so good and glowy. Now, don't panic. I still have my residencies, a kitchen and bar in the West End, Fauquier County because Fauquier is fabulous, City Ridge Development, and of course, my ongoing work with the Yume Hospitality Group. But today's guest is out of town, and after having him on Foodie The Beast a couple weeks ago, I really wanted to do more with him and like go deep. So here's the thing. Everybody talks about sustainability, right? Like everybody puts responsibly sourced on their menu. But today's guest is actually doing it and on a really, it's a pretty big scale. And I appreciate that because transparency and accountability are tough in today's world. So joining me is Chef Louie Jocson. He is the VP of Food and Bev at California Fish Grill. So this is a fast casual seafood restaurant. It started in the late 90s. It has over 60 locations. And most recently, they've opened here in the DMV. They have one in Fairfax, Virginia. They have one in Rockville, and coming soon to Alexandria, which is exciting. But what I wanted to explore today is not just like what they serve and the how and why, because California Fish Grill is deeply aligned with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch Program. And I feel like you see a lot of that, but I kind of want to know how the sausage is made, right? Because how do you keep rigorous sustainability standards in the fast casual world? So just a little bit about Chef Louie. He's cooked around the world. He trained at the California Culinary Academy. He's even earned some praise from the James Beard Foundation. And he is turning all that expertise towards building this scalable model on sustainable seafood, which I think is really cool. So let's get into Chef's background, the concept, and then my favorite part, the economics and real world mechanics of sustainability. Like, what does it take? Is it really replicable industry wide? So, hi, Chef. Thanks so much for joining me on Industry Night.
Hello there. Thank you for having me again back so soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, when you were on Foodie and the Beast, actually, it wasn't actually on the show. It was sort of after the show. You and I started
hmm
really talking, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's so much more we can do here." So, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's get your origin story. You grew up cooking with your family, and you've
hmm
been in a variety of different restaurants. Like, what were really the moments that shaped your culinary point of view?
Well, I think it starts in the beginning, and in the beginning, I didn't like it. It was a chore
Hmm.
for us or for me, and I was, part of a family of four brothers that I had, and my mom needed all our help. So before we went out and played, you today you get to chop garlic, and you get to peel the onions, and then tomorrow you get to peel shrimp and
Hmm.
portion out the fish and clean the fish and scale the fish, that kind of thing. And it was horrible. I didn't really like it. But what I did notice was when I opened the fridge, everything was ready for my mom. So when she got home, she could cook it immediately. And then what she made from what we did, what we prepped, was delicious.
Mm.
And then soon thereafter, we got older and responsibilities got greater, and then we started to cook too. And then I started to realize, my gosh, people are liking what I actually cooked tonight, and I accomplished something. And I realized that you can't jump into cooking right away without realizing what goes into it first. You gotta know how to really just chop the garlic the right way to
Right.
prepare a certain dish. You have to scale the actual fish in order for you to have the result that you want when you fry it or roast it in the oven. So that's how my beginnings started, and what started out
When
as
did you
something.
jump?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when did you jump from cooking for the family to like cooking
Well,
professionally?
I had to get a job.
Mm.
And so, we had to fend for ourselves. And my first job was a busboy at a restaurant. and I got to see a lot of the plates coming out and how beautiful they were. And then I got to see what was also being thrown away and not eaten. So I went from busboy, and then I went to from that. It seemed like going into the fryer, right? I went into being a dishwasher, and I became a
But this is
dishwasher.
like, but it's like the classic progression, right? I
So
mean,
so I'm told now,
but honestly, I think it's so important for those in the back of the house and the front of the house
mhm.
to do all the roles. Like, there's no way to know what's needed in both places if you haven't done it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, something I gotta share with you with our company. When I go out, I'm the self-proclaimed best busboy in our company. Now, Lent
Hmm.
hits us like a ton of bricks, and everybody's out to eat seafood, and we're all hands on deck. The best place to put me, I'm clearing and bussing tables. Now,
Okay.
our CEO, I mean, he'll tell you he's the best dishwasher in the company at those times. So there's nothing in I mean, people in our organization has started from really down in the lower ranks and worked
Hmm.
themselves up.
So let's talk a little bit about the concept. So California Fish Grill, I was really surprised when I was uh, sort of re-educating myself on the concept that it's a fast casual concept that started in the late 90s. I
Right.
just was that when all these fast casual concepts were starting, because it feels like it was really in the like mid to late aughts that you were just seeing them everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I really I'd have to go look back at the exact time. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think like around that time there's fast casual or fast food had to find there's an elevated version of fast food, and then there's a
Right.
more casual take on casual dining. And then that's how fast casual was born. And we were among that mix back in 1998.
So, for those who are not familiar with this fast casual concept, what is California Fish Grill and how do you guys execute fast casual?
So California Fish Grill, it's in the name, right? So there's
Hmm.
fish, it's grill, and it's about the California lifestyle. And for us, the way we look at this is it's the only difference from a casual dining experience is that, well, the waiters are removed, and
Hmm.
but that doesn't mean service is. You walk
Right.
up to the counter, you're greeted with that same friendly smile as if it was a full service restaurant. And if your technology is one of your fortes these days, you can order at the kiosk, and the
Hmm.
food comes out, and we plate it as if you were dining at a casual restaurant. It's plated absolutely beautifully, and you take it to the table, and you go about enjoying your meal as if you were at any other establishment.
But everything is sort of build your own, right? So, what
Yes.
does a plate look like?
So you order the fish that you desire for that
Hmm.
day. We prepare it to order,
How
and
many
then
fish
it's highly
usually? Like,
customizable. You
but how many
customize it with
fish
your
are
own
we
sauce.
talking about? Like, how many
So it could
fish?
be, so we have salmon to
Hmm.
branzino, and then we have wild options. We have the ahi tuna that you could order. We have rockfish also. Now, let's
Hmm.
say you ordered the rockfish and you wanted it, you get to choose what seasoning, our house seasoning or Cajun seasoning. Then you get to choose two side dishes with it to go as well. We have incredible Brussels sprouts. We have our cauliflower rice, our roasted street corn, which is one of my favorites, and then
Hmm.
sauces on top of that as well. If you're a simpleton or like things simple, like me,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean it's not complex, but I like the seasoned olive oil. And then we have our undisputed king of sauces, we call it, is our garlic butter. It makes everything taste good. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's really the gateway to enjoying seafood is our garlic butter.
Hmm.
And yeah, so you go from picking your fish, we put it on the grill, we cook it expertly, as we like to say it, to your liking, and then you have your own sauce, your side dishes, and it's plated beautifully. And you enjoy it right at the table.
Amazing. And when this concept was coming together, why, like to me, when I think fish, I think, ooh, pricey. That's going to be
Hmm.
expensive. Fish is a pricier protein because it takes so much to access it. Although we'll get into farmed fish,
Right.
which is, sort of, it sort of had a really negative connotation. And now, so when I think of fish, I
Hmm.
think expensive. Fish is expensive. And I'd love to talk to you about why you guys went with fish as a concept.
Well, first of all, we love fish. So,
Hmm.
and we wanted to share that passion with the world. Simply that. It is luxurious, and we thought we can make this luxury affordable and
Mm.
accessible by sourcing properly. We've identified it also as a clean, healthy protein, so it's good for you. And the other thing that we also noticed was this is really hard to make at home. It's intimidating. It's
Hmm.
not easy. So we opened the restaurant. We made it everything easy for our guests. We sourced properly. We
Hmm.
cooked it. So you didn't have to do it at home. You didn't have to do dishes, and that means you get to spend some time with your family. You get to eat healthy protein, so you get to feel good, and then
Hmm.
it's sourced properly, so you can feel good about what you just ate as well. So all of those values, we made it really just convenient for the guests to come in and enjoy seafood.
Well, let's talk about sourcing and get into sustainability. I mean, not I feel, you know, really in the last 25 years, there's been a lot of drum thumping about sustainability,
Hmm.
about how things are sourced and et cetera. But it's been a pendulum swing of people
Hmm.
using it as a marketing tool. So, where did the original commitment to sustainability come from? And then, how do you actually execute it?
Well, for us, it's when we're sourcing something, it's about three words for us to make it perfectly clear, and it's something that we live by, and every one of our team members knows these three letters, and that's TSS, and what it stands for is taste, safety, and sustainability. Now,
Hmm.
if it doesn't taste good, we don't go after it. It's just that simple. Two, safety. It's got to be safe. One, it's got to come from pristine, clean waters, not because we say so, but also third party. Our third party advisors, Monterey Bay Aquarium, Seafood Watch Program, they're the ones that are saying, hey, you know what? This is an area where the fish is wonderful. The fishery here, it's pristine waters, and it's highly recommended. So there's a safety factor that we consider. The other, just to be on the surface of that, the other is sustainability. Now,
Hmm.
sustainability, that's the biggie here. What does that really mean, right? And it's not just
Right.
something that we could throw around. It's not because, hey, Chef Louie says so, right?
Hmm.
We did partner with Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch Program. We also look towards third party for marine stewardship, for aquacultural practices, also, the fishing improvement practices as well. And only those that fall under those categories is where we source our seafood from.
Hmm.
So that's the sustainability piece. And then that's what we live for every day to deliver our customers.
Right. But I mean, I want to drill down a little deeper because
Sure.
what does that mean? And, like I think about like wild caught, farmed fishing, like there's all like as technology changes
Hmm.
and access changes and like how you source these fish and where they come from. Um, and also, with the American public, they know like seven fish, right? Not
Hmm.
everybody, but introducing other fish so that we're not overfishing tuna, we're overfishing salmon, or we're overfishing. Like there's so many layers to the sustainability,
Hmm.
and the education of the consumer, right? So, I mean, I think a lot of people know about sustainability, but they don't know if they're supposed to buy frozen or fresh, or, when they're getting a piece of fish at a restaurant, what are the indicators they're looking for? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Right. So when it comes to sustainability, for
Hmm.
us, like I said, taste has to be is a key factor. Now,
Hmm.
here's the roundabout on taste. It's whether it's wild caught, whether
Hmm.
it's farm raised, it has to have the certifications that it is in fact a sustainable source. Now, I said whether it's wild or farm, they both have to taste good. So,
Hmm.
so there's that sustainability piece. Also, you mentioned fresh or frozen. Whether
Hmm.
it's fresh or frozen, what tastes better is what tastes better.
Right.
It's fresh doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to taste better than a product that was intended to be frozen. Now, what a lot of what most people think about with fresh is that, and we've asked our team members and customers. What we asked them was this: we said, okay, well, what do you think the best tasting seafood is? Not the best tasting. And they said,
Okay.
well, I want seafood that just, that I know just came out of the water and then it's on my plate, right? That's pretty good
Hmm.
for best tasting. Oh, I want it to be to where as if I caught it. And,
Are you
and then
saying people
insert.
really said this? Because like
Yeah,
that would not
absolutely.
be my
That's the
answer.
best tasting seafood. That's what they know. I want to see it, coming into the boat, and it's flopping around
Hmm.
on the boat, and that to me is the best tasting seafood. So we define that as closest to harvest taste. That's
Okay.
for us. We source seafood as if it was the closest to harvest, whether that's fresh or whether that's frozen. Now,
Hmm.
now whether it's wild caught frozen, whether it's farm raised frozen, it's all about the taste. Now,
All right, understood, but wait. I feel like we're crossing things here.
okay,
Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about wild caught versus farming.
okay.
Farming had a very negative, there was like an expose like 20 years ago about tilapia, and then everybody's like, oh, I can't have tilapia because of the way it was farmed was kind of gross. But there
Hmm.
has been huge changes in farmed fish. So is that attractive? Is that attractive to you maintaining your sustainability as you grow your concept? Like there has to be things I know you're thinking of taste, but there has to be other things that are important because of accessibility.
Absolutely. Now, farming, I mean, there's responsible farming, which
Hmm.
that's where we source from, and there's irresponsible farming, which we don't.
Right.
I don't care to talk uh, about the irresponsible farming, but there's things everywhere out there that, here's a farm that's not doing it so well, and then
Hmm.
now that's representation for all the farms that are doing it
Right.
absolutely in a pristine manner. That's
Hmm.
that's a very narrow scope, right? So there,
Right.
in any industry, there's somebody making, a good product, and with all the how do you call that, the proper way of doing things, the treatment of staff, the products that they use, right?
Hmm.
And then, that's no different in the seafood industry.
Hmm.
So farming practices, we need it. as part of sustainability. It's an absolute necessity. If we only draw from wild, what happens to the wild?
Right. That's what
We'll
right.
deplete it. We can't supply the demand with purely wild fish. It's just that's no longer sustainable. Um, and one of the guys that I used to watch when I was growing up is Jacques Cousteau. I don't know if you know who that is, and
Yeah,
I
of
don't know if the
course.
listeners know who Jacques Cousteau is, but
Hmm.
this guy, I mean, he was on TV and he would talk about fish and he, all about marine biology, and I just love this guy. But what he says is we have to look at seafood as a form of farming, not as
Sure.
hunting, because that's what civilization is all about, right? It's
Hmm.
about farming, not hunting. So with our growing population, he recognized then that if we only went with wild seafood, we would not be able to sustain our appetite for seafood. We would
Hmm.
have to have, we would have to employ farming in addition to, and that's what we've done. We've done a great job globally in farming seafood responsibly.
When I was in Iceland recently,
Hmm.
um, a little couple of years ago, I was able to see some of the aquaculture that they're doing there. Like in the fjords, out
Right,
like in the middle of the water. It's almost like a massive netted system
right.
where where clean, it's in the ocean basically, and water is, you know, circulating through, and the fish are able to swim,
Right.
creating a viable product, and also in really healthy. They're not feeding the fish. The fish are eating and doing everything that they normally do, but in a controlled area.
You're absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. And the
Hmm.
fjords to get to the actual farm sites or aquaculture sites, it takes a good, depending on the day, an hour to an hour and a half. And
Hmm.
there's many sites that they have, and these pens that they have out there. Uh, I mean, it's 98% of that pen is water. 2%
Hmm.
is fish. Now, you had mentioned the natural currents, the natural nutrients that flow through those pens. I mean, and the temperature. It's just incredible. An
It's really
incredible
cool.
farming method.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. And I just, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? And it's no
Hmm.
different to me. Like you talked about fresh or frozen, it doesn't matter as long as it tastes good. I had a talk with a chef. This was years ago. He was going to, he had come from a seafood like expo up in Boston. And he was talking about frozen fish. And I was like, oh, frozen fish. And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, think about it. He's like, they catch that fish, they freeze it right there. He's like, it's better than fresh. He's like, the
Yes.
taste is better. He was really selling me on it. But we're sort of trained that when we go to the market or a fishmonger, that we're like, is it fresh? Did it come in today? Do you know what I mean? And honestly, the fish that you're getting is from all around the world.
Yes.
It really shouldn't. That's the wrong question.
Well, you're right, and it's how do we define fresh? What
Hmm.
is fresh, right?
Hmm.
So, you may define it as okay. I caught it, or I watched it come in, and it just came from the ocean to my plate. That's
Right.
fresh. That's a pretty high standard,
It is.
which we all loved, and I think we've experienced at some point.
Hmm.
But here's also another look at fresh in the industry. Now, fresh means that it has never been frozen, regardless of age.
Hmm.
Now, let me repeat that. Never been frozen regardless of age.
Hmm.
That is now fresh fish. So if the fish is a week old, that's never been frozen, it's still fresh.
Hmm.
If it's 14 days, that fish is still fresh.
Right. But it
If it's
doesn't mean it's
21 days,
necessarily good,
it's still
right?
fresh. Now, is
Right.
that by by definition, personal definition of many,
Right.
is that still fresh, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's not for me to answer. But for us, that's why we want to deliver to you, whether it's fresh or whether it's frozen, that it has that closest to harvest taste.
Hmm.
That's very difficult to do. Meanwhile, we're maintaining the safety features of it. We're controlling the environment that it's farmed in. We can't control the wild, but we can control where the areas that where we fish, right?
Hmm.
We can control the where it's processed, and we can control really the plate counts or the bacteria counts by testing, or the histamine counts. We have all of
Mm.
those, all traceable. And the sustainability piece of this is we want to make sure that we're partnered with the farms to just grow what we need for that year.
Mm.
Whether this is shrimp, whether this is our swai whitefish, whether up on, to our salmon as well.
So, do
So
you, with the fish that you guys put on your menu, do you try to shake it up a bit and be like I always think of snakehead, right? Because snakehead's an invasive
yeah,
species, and they're ugly as sin,
yeah,
but they're a tasty fish.
yeah.
And there's been several huge pushes throughout the years to like get them on the menus.
Hmm.
But are there other, since some fish are overfished, are there other fish that you're hoping to bring to the table so that the consumer can say, oh, I don't need to do, I don't know, let's say ahi today.
Hmm.
I can do this other fish, which has a terrific taste as well.
Right. I mean, this is why we offer a wide range of fish in our menu.
Hmm.
And sometimes, following the sustainability guidelines and that sustainability pledge, there's unfortunately we have to take some fish that are favorites of people, guests, off the menu. For instance, mahi mahi. The landings were just not there.
Mm.
It's not sustainable to just harvest for the size of our group, our organization, when the landings are reported that way in that fashion. So
What
we
does
have to
that
omit
mean? What
that.
is the landings? What does that
Oh, I'm
mean?
sorry. Landings is the harvest, the catch, what they're catching out of the water
Hmm.
at a particular time. If
Mm.
it's good, if it's bountiful, then we're able to partake in that harvest. If not, then we have to pause, and we have to let that fishery regain and to restore back to the proper numbers that it needs to be.
Mm. Well, I mean,
Mhm.
that I think is so important and a missing storyline to the consumer
Hmm.
about the product. You can always get apples, right? Like apples
Right.
are always available, but fish are actual animals and they're not farmed the way, Big Ag does cows or chicken. It's a very different process.
It's totally different. One is above ground, as you know, and you can see it, and one is below where you can't.
Hmm.
But back to introducing different species. So if mahi mahi goes away, what do we do? I mean,
Mm.
what's the replacement for mahi mahi? Well, we look to other wild species, and in our case, we looked into rockfish. And now
Mm.
rockfish has a nice firm texture. It's meaty. It's flaky. Now we don't ever say it's like mahi mahi,
Sure.
because mahi mahi is really pretty unique in its own. But rockfish comes in. It has similar texture. And actually, the values of it being sustainable, it's green rated, so it's something. It's not a downgrade by any means. But I will
Hmm.
tell you, we're looking to put mahi mahi back. We like what we're seeing from our sources, and
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we're excited.
Now, since you have 60 properties,
Hmm.
um, do you try to bring uh, local fish to the table for like certain reasons? Like Maryland, for example, everybody talks about Maryland crab. Are you like, okay, we need to do that? Or do you have your fisheries around the world and you're like, this is what we do, this is how we do it?
It's a combination of both. It has to
Hmm.
focus around the sustainability piece. For instance, in the DMV area, everyone loves lobster roll, right? And,
Right.
and everybody loves
That's not
cod.
just DMV. I think that's everywhere. Like people love Maine lobster, like
I think you
everywhere, don't
guys like
they?
it just a little bit more than
Okay, I
everybody
mean, I love
else.
a lobster roll, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
I
grew up
like
in New
it.
Jersey outside of New York City, and we used to go
Mhm.
to Pearl's for lobster rolls. And I mean, that place
Yeah,
was gold.
so our lobster comes from Nova Scotia, and
Okay.
it's a seasonal harvest out there.
Hmm.
It's sustainable, it's delicious, and if you've been to our location out there, I mean, we serve two lobster rolls. It's a generous portion,
Mm.
and it's really at an affordable price. And so that's how we pay homage to the local favorites. We're also working on fried oysters for the East
Mm.
Coast, and fish and chips. Everyone loves cod. Our cod is
They do.
from Alaska. So
Hmm.
not necessarily local, but we want to cater to the local palate, if that makes
Mm.
sense. Hmm.
Oh yeah, of course. No, I think it's in no matter your concept, I think it's very important to think regionally
Hmm.
on how that area expects to eat. Because
Right.
if you just sort of build it and say you're welcome, that's not going to work either, right?
No, we don't have Old Bay other than in the East Coast. I mean,
Right.
it's like you better have Old Bay, or else, I'm not gonna come there. We have Old Bay.
Hmm.
We recognize it's a seasoning it's a childhood seasoning that
Hmm.
everybody remembers and loves and enjoys today. And yeah, our guests are welcome to
To put it all
taking
over
it
the
on their
place.
seafood and or their French fries or rice at our place. Hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the math. We started about that in the beginning, but from a fast casual industry perspective, how do you make sustainable seafood cost effective? And you also mentioned earlier when you talked about cooking at home, so it's a two-pronged question about food waste and how
Hmm.
that really bothered you. So I want to know about the business model and sort of incorporation of food waste in that, because I assume if you're so sustainable, how you deal with food waste would be important as well.
So, well, you said affordability, and
Hmm.
then I'm gonna look at the food waste. I'll address the food waste also.
Okay.
How are we making it affordable?
Hmm.
Well, it's what we want to do is we want to make a little bit from a lot
Mm.
with that business model, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So a small percentage from a lot of visitors is better to us than a big percentage from very few visitors. And we
Hmm.
can only do that by um, agreeing internally to charge accordingly so that we believe that it's accessible and affordable. Um,
Hmm.
it's not easy. You're absolutely right. Seafood is a
Hmm.
luxury,
Mm.
and
I love that you say that because I don't think people realize that it is. It's important to recognize that access to healthy, nutritious food is a
mhm.
luxury, and that it costs money because it is a luxury. I mean, it should be a given right for us to all have access, but we don't. It's not equal across the board.
Yeah, I mean, people palates are different
Mm.
everywhere. And what I will say about seafood, or this I refer to the seafood lane, is
Hmm.
it's so vast. When somebody says, you know, I don't know about seafood, I don't I don't know if I like it.
Mm.
Um, it's not just a one hit wonder type protein. It's many. So what don't you like about seafood? Well, we have shrimp, we have oysters and clams. There's
Hmm.
there's like there's lobster. There's halibut. There's which we don't serve, but people know that it's a common
Hmm.
fish. Mahi mahi, tuna. There's so many different choices within the
Hmm.
seafood category, which is what we're so proud about. And you're right, it is luxurious. It's always been known as something fancy, and I think that's why sometimes people say, "Oh my gosh, it's fish, it's fancy," and maybe I can't go there, or maybe I won't understand it. Well, I
Hmm.
tell you what, at California Fish Grill, we make all that simple. It's not
Okay.
intimidating whatsoever. That's why we did it in a fast casual format. So you can
Mm.
walk in. You could be in your flip flops, shorts. You could just be coming off of a hike. You can come from the gym, as many of our customers do. Right? You come
Hmm.
in your gym outfit. Again, you can order off the kiosk. You have all of these luxurious protein. It's lean,
Hmm.
it's clean, it's sustainable, it's absolutely delicious.
Hmm.
And you can customize it with your own sauces, with your own sides.
No, no, I know. I mean, we discussed
Yeah.
all that, but I'm asking about the math. So I'm just so curious, like, how do you make it affordable? We discussed it's a luxury. How do we make it affordable?
How we make it affordable is our relationships globally.
Mm.
It's our partners with our importers, our farmers, and also the vessels and the captains of those vessels, and the commitment to serving California Fish Grill. They know our
Mm.
story. They know that we want to bring the best seafood uh, to our guests, and we've told them our story, and they're all in, and they want to be part of it. And that's really how we do it. It's relationship based. They know our goal, they know our purpose, and they know how much we value our customers and we want to treat them
Mm.
to this luxury. It's an affordable luxury when you come to us.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so just quickly, let's talk a little bit about food waste and how you all
Mhm.
handle that before we wrap up.
Well, I will address, well, in this way, that I think the listeners need to consider is that when harvesting, and then we went about the fresh versus frozen, right?
Hmm.
There's very short windows of harvesting certain items. And one that we like to bring along sometimes is sockeye salmon. We can't do that today because of our sustainability pledge. Again, the catch are very short, but
Mm.
when this is caught, it's only caught at a period of 3 months. Now, if you're going to serve that all as fresh or never been frozen, the waste
Hmm.
would be atrocious
Mm.
because you can't serve it all. So what we do is in that case, you've heard your chef that you've had interaction with.
Hmm.
He said that, man, it's fresher than fresh because when they catch the seafood now, for us, we want to serve it for an LTO period, and maybe that LTO period is a whole year. Well, we could
Hmm.
take advantage of this fish, and it's intended to be flash frozen at its peak,
Right.
maintaining its peak flavor. So when you get it, it's at closest to harvest taste. It's absolutely delicious. And now we could take advantage of a big haul. We could
Hmm.
take advantage of what Mother Nature provided, and all the way and not waste it. And also, when we do it this way, we're able to use it. We are able to ship it. We're also able to use ground freight rather than if it were fresh or never been frozen, that it has to be air freighted every week, two, three times a week. And then the sustainability of that is also would be in question. So sustainability there's many different values that stem out from that.
No, I think it sounds like you guys are super intentional
Mhm.
about how you're affecting your business and your business model as a way to, you as a restaurant and the kind of restaurant you are, you're doing multiple things. Not only are you providing a value added meal, but you're also making a commitment to the the safety of the earth, right? So
Mhm.
sustainability is under that umbrella, and it's very important.
Yes, ma'am. And the fisheries and the aquaculture sites that we partner with. There's also that sustainability. There's social responsibility too. Again, how these farms and processors give back to their community. Their philanthropy roles is also important to us. Also, it goes beyond really their legal obligation.
Well, and I think people who do that are because they're in it for the long haul. Like it's for the greater good, right?
Right.
They know why they're doing it because they see the future. And if you don't do it, then the future won't be there. So that all makes sense. Okay, so as we wrap up, I have one quick question for you. For the home cooks that are listening, what is one recommendation you would make when it comes to buying seafood at home? Now, I know they should all go to your spot and have dinner there, but you mentioned you're like people are intimidated about buying
Yeah.
fish or cooking fish. So, what's one piece of advice you could offer?
One, go and talk to the person behind the counter. Ask
Hmm.
them, you know what, listen, let them know what stage you are in enjoying seafood. If you're a beginner, I would suggest looking at something that's, lighter in flavor, that's mild, that's a little bit easier, and they'll guide you through that. Now, some of
Okay,
the key.
what's a mild fish to you? Because like I eat every fish, so I don't even know what that means.
So a popular mild fish, it is halibut.
Okay.
Everybody knows what halibut is, and
Hmm.
to me, wild would be also tilapia is a mild fish,
Mm.
as well as there's
And versatile.
Yeah, it's versatile. There's the soles and flounders
Hmm.
also very mild and flaky. Um, and one of the questions is, what do you recommend? What's the best today? But the key things to look at too is, does the fish does it look shiny? Is it on ice? And when you approach the counter, is it this off smell? It's really, really fishy. It shouldn't smell like that. It should smell like, a clean ocean. It should be in a
But
nice
not, it
environment.
shouldn't smell like chlorine though. It should
No,
smell
no, 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 no. It
clean.
shouldn't be, it shouldn't smell like that you're covering up something that's there.
Right.
Yeah, but plenty of ice. You want to see ice, on
Mhm.
your seafood displays.
Okay, so tell me, you got something coming up. You got a California fish grill coming to Alexandria.
Yes, we
What,
do.
anything else coming to the DMV?
Well, we just opened up Rockville and Fairfax,
Hmm.
and so we have three to close out the year. And you know what? I'm just gonna have to surprise you.
Okay, you'll have to keep me
But there are
posted.
more in plans to open up in the East Coast.
Amazing. All right. Well, Chef Louie, thank you. This was the exact conversation I wanted to have, not like greenwashing or buzzwords, but like I really wanted to get an idea of the systems and costs and some of the philosophies behind what you guys are doing. But, it is amazing that you can do sustainability at
Mhm.
scale. So, for everyone listening, go check out California Fish Grill in Fairfax and in Rockville, and keep your eyes open for Alexandria, which is opening December, January, right, Chef?
I think before the end of the year, yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, stay tuned. Check the list areyouonit.com because we will have that information in there. So thank you all for joining me today. You want to follow Chef Louie and the California Fish Grill. And of course, you want to follow me at NYCCINELLIS on all the platforms. You can subscribe to Industry Night wherever you listen to podcasts or check us out on YouTube. And of course, you want to follow me on Instagram because that's where I do all the things. I just did an amazing trip to Nashville. You want to see where I ate and what I did. And I have been dining hard around the DMV. So you want to see what I'm doing there as well. And I will be back next week, maybe from City Ridge or maybe from a.kitchen. And my last show is coming up from Fauquier County. And also Yume Hospitality. So I don't know which is going to come first, but I like to keep you guessing. So
Mhm.
thank you again, Chef, for joining me. And thank you,
Thank
listener.
you.
Um, Everybody be safe out there and have a delicious week.
Produced by Heartcast Media.